this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
No.
We return to our planet. The High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. This is Kotobuki Jake.
Hey.
And we're here with our Halloween pickups. We've got six spooky pickups each.
I got 5 pieces of candy. I got a chocolate bar. I got a quarter. I got a rock.
So that you, the viewers, can go. Of course, I remain dressed in my Halloween costume. And Jake stole Dr. Streaming's hat. So, so he could pretend to be Dr. Streaming.
Aha.
So we have some fun pickups today. All of them Halloween viewed, but don't get used to it. Pickups starting, well, actually next video are going to be, well, the average. There'll be horror in some of them, but not in all of them.
Right.
So let's begin. So this first one I've got is actually something that is not necessarily horror, but it's Halloween time. And we'll hook into another video that we have this week. Well, and that is The Worst Witch. These sets 1 and 2, which cover series 1 of the series. Unfortunately, it did not get a very wide physical release here in the States. There you go. But it does cover their first term, which is very cool. And that gives me a beginning and end point, so I'm kind of happy with that. This is the HBO series. There are a lot of these Worst Witch series, I found out. There's ones that follow her in college. There's all this. BBC ran with it for a while. And they're based off of a series of books that were written in, I think, the early 80s about this witch named Mildred Hubble. And she comes from a regular middle-class family, just like a regular family. And she's trying to go to a witches' school on a scholarship. Problem is, she's not all that good at witching, and she screws up and all of these things, and that comes to be a problem. But she's got a heart of gold, so of course she saves the day. And
Much like Ollie here, apparently.
there is an older movie that they did with, gosh, what was his name? The guy who was Pennywise, the guy who was in...
Are you talking about old Pennywise or new
Old Pennywise.
Tim Curry?
Tim Curry, yeah. Tim Curry was in it and all that fun stuff. So, it was something cool in childhood, but this one's a little bit better quality. It's not quite as good as the one that they had from Netflix that came out, but unfortunately that doesn't have a DVD. So this was kind of fun. I actually just finished watching through these, and they are fun. They are badly out of print. But I would love to see this brought back. Unfortunately, HBO is not streaming these, even though this is where it landed here in America. So this is one of the few ways that you can actually watch it legally. So, yeah, it's one that I'm kind of glad is not totally vanished from the lexicon. I really do love the series. I love the concept. I need to read the books. Yeah, and of course you all probably know about this because I would have had this on the cover because this is one of I use for the thumbnail.
And I have to concede that's one I have little personal familiarity with, so I need to get that fixed.
I mean, shoot, if anything, watch the Netflix series. I mean, it stars Bella Ramsey, and they are very very big now, thanks to Last of Us, which also needs to be watched.
I need to see that, yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff. It's just big stuff.
So true, so true. Speaking of, and also speaking of something that has had multiple iterations, and it's based on a book from, I think, the 80s, certainly from back in the day, which I did finally read the book, and I have seen the remake, but I've never seen the original. Now, we were going to do 5 pickups today, but today one of my coworkers, we happened to have a copy come in, a used copy given to us of the old movie, which I'd never seen, and she was like, "You've never seen, you're taking this. You're watching this. This is yours." And I'm like, "Okay." I do think this is new to my collection. I cannot 100% swear to that. But I was so amused by it. I was like, I've got to bring this in as a 6th item, just in case. And it'll be a placeholder until I get on the DVD. What I'd like it would be a DVD with the old and the new. But, you know. And that is the classic Stephen King story, Pet Sematary.
Oh, wow. You haven't seen the original Pet Sematary?
I have not seen the original, no.
Sometimes dead is better.
I know. 1989. We got some folks in here, although this doesn't really... Fred Gwynn apparently played Jug Crandall in this one. Now, I'll admit, the remake... oh my god, my brain is fried right now.
Mine stays
John
fried.
Lithgow plays Crandall in the remake and does a brilliant job. The movie was good. I've heard the old one was better in some ways. I know they made some significant changes for the remake. And again, I've read the book and it's an excellent book. Stephen King can be a very good read. He can be an exasperating read. This falls in the very good category. It is a classic, I've heard, and I do need to see it. And like I said, whether or not I owned a copy already, I definitely have one now. So,
well, my next one is one that I thought I had because I recognized the cover, but I guess I never bothered with. That is the movie Idle Hands.
oh dear God.
Now, have you heard about this one?
I have seen it,
Oh, you have.
and I hated it.
I am surprised because it's
I
very much
hated it.
it's very much Werewolf in London type feel to it to me.
You know, and maybe in fairness, if I saw it now, I would not dislike it.
Okay, how long ago did you see it?
I saw it not long after it came out.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably need to... but this is one where this guy basically gets his hand possessed by a demon, and he ends up killing a lot of people. And his friends come back. There's very much American Werewolf in London DNA in this, because I can feel that. Especially with the whole friends coming back as undead and kind of wisecracking at him. I didn't love it, but I really enjoyed it. There were parts of this that were very funny, like the fact that the hand, of course, he cuts off the hand, and the hand is there, and the hand ends up in like a sock puppet, and he's fighting the sock puppet essentially at the end, as it's trying to kill the final girl and send her to hell. It's a very tongue-in-cheek horror comedy, and I did enjoy this a lot. Well, I did enjoy this. It wasn't my favorite, but I can see why people do consider this a classic when it comes to that sort of horror. So I am glad to have it in the collection. I do think it's fun. Definitely worth a revisit in the future, especially now that you've kind of gotten into more of this stuff and you can handle it more.
Well, I can admit there were a lot of elements. You just mentioned some of them that I did not have the appreciation for at the time that I do now. So my next one, speaking of, this is one that I'm sure he gave me, and I'm sure I've had it for a while. I was going through my stack of stuff to present, and I don't even know how long this has been sitting there, to be honest. But it was in the stack of stuff to present, so I'm pretty sure I haven't done it. And this is one that I'm sure we've discussed a few times on this channel. And that is the Out There Halloween Mega Tape, which is one that we did we do this one on the channel?
We've done WNUF.
We did WNUF, and this was the follow-up to that,
Yes.
right? So WNUF was pretty fun. This one, I didn't get quite as much out of it, but I still thought it was very interesting. And both of them basically kind of took the premise of you're watching a recording that you ripped off the television during Halloween season. That's pretty much it. You could almost think like a cross between a schlocky horror film and Robot Chicken, something kind of like that. And it's pretty fun, and I enjoyed it, and I'm glad to have a copy,
I need to watch it again. I had a very bad experience happen after the first time I watched it, and there's nothing to do with that whatsoever. It's just circumstances bad happened that time. So I last watched it in 2023, which was a very bad year for me.
Oh, yeah.
And so I need to rewatch it eventually and kind of clear the air. It's sort of like Sausage Party. Bad things happened around the time I watched it. Nothing on the movie itself.
Well, I remember you gave it to me as a get well present when I was on my deathbed in the hospital. Now, how's that? Sausage Party is a get well present.
At least it won't make you feel bad if you're leaving the play.
All right.
So this next one is a bootleg, I will admit. I've gotten to be more open to bootlegs as more and more places say, well, screw that, we'll never release a physical, and we're only going to do streaming. Now this one in particular, because you can't get all of Kevin Smith's directed movies, because one of them is limited to just an MFT release. Now he's done interviews saying that he may eventually, if he feels there is interest in it, release it on physical, but that he wanted to make sure that NFT and crypto people have something that they can call their own. And I'm like, yeah, okay. No. So the original idea was that only 1,000 people got to see it, and occasionally some people who got to see the limited theatrical run. And that is the anthology film Kilroy Was Here. So I found a copy that was taken down, by the way, where I found it, because it was very quickly done. But now I've made my own. I'm not selling it or anything. I'm just keeping mine, and that way I can see it. And I did enjoy my viewing of it somewhat. It's not my favorite Kevin Smith film by any means, but it was better than that buddy cop movie that he did, Cop Out. And it's basically the concept is about this guy Kilroy, who is this person who was just this kind of twisted killer, and he ended up doing a lot of nasty stuff in Nam, but apparently when he died, he continued to want to do some bloody killings, and a lot of this was also based off of the whole thing where you would see these signs come up in World War II, where you'd have these signs like Kilroy Was Here, was considered the first meme. Now, each of these is a story about Kilroy, that if you say his name 3 times, he comes, he just kills everybody. And they're reasonably decent. Jason Mewes is in one of them, which is interesting. I think it's worth seeing at least once. I do. And I like having it just because I want to physically have all of Kevin Smith's films, and this actually makes all of them, because now I have all of Kevin Smith's films in my collection one way or the other. Not the way I would like to have had it. And if it ever, and I look at it as a placeholder, so if he ever decides, okay, physical release, I'll get it.
Okay. All right, my next one is a recent upgrade that I got. I think I also picked this one up through my local library. It's one that I've had on DVD for a long time. I remember seeing it not in theaters, but on a big screen. I remember they did a screening of it in the auditorium at old Roanoke College back in the day. And I remember being impressed by it and thinking it was vastly overrated. It's one of those movies. And a director who has made even more questionable choices than Kevin Smith, but has had not as much staying power, but he was a hot thing for a minute. The movie that put M. Night Shyamalan really on the map, The Sixth Sense.
Oh.
I finally upgraded it to Blu-ray. You got one of the stars of Cop Out, Bruce Willis. Something that you know he would not put on his resume. And then, of course, Haley Joel Osment, one of the movies that really made him a household name. He was already becoming one, but this one really kind of gave him a bit. And Toni Collette, good cast. Like I said, this is probably considered one of Shyamalan's best films, or certainly one of his most perennially popular. It's one of the ones where the twist ending is very well known now, but people don't complain about it as much as some of his later ones. And this is not a bad release. It's actually got a pretty decent number of bonus features. I'd kind of like to see a Criterion or Arrow collector's edition of this eventually, and I would certainly upgrade it, but in the meantime, this is a much nicer placeholder than the old DVD I had, so space saver if nothing else.
So, just for y'all's info, because they seem to have decided they want to star in this, I did pick up 2 new kittens. On the top here is Olivia. On the bottom here is Ozzy. He's the orange one. And they are very affectionate cats. So they do want to be a part of the action. Now, I might have seen at least Ozzy in one of my previous pickups, because I think he was trying to photobomb. But, yeah, they are.
And meanwhile, Blanche is over there giving them the side eye.
She's in Foo's old place. If y'all watch our channel long enough, you would have remembered my cat Foo, who has passed in 2023, I believe. Another great thing about 2023, I guess. He used to sit in that exact spot behind us when we used to do it, because we used to have it where it was facing that way. Now we have it where it's facing just a wall of DVDs. So, it's kind of an interesting thing. So, we'll do some classic 80s style horror.
Okay.
And that is the film Hack-O-Lantern. Now, Hack-O-Lantern is this film about this evil cultists, and one of the cultists had sired a child with his daughter, and he was going to use that child to be like a representative of Satan on Earth or something like that, by killing a whole bunch of people. And it turns into a pretty intense slasher film about devil cultists and all of that. It's a fine enough film. It's got pretty good music to it. It's not that bad or low budget as I thought it would be from what the reputation says. It's actually I'm
just curious about something.
a classic overall, in my opinion.
Massacre video, huh?
But
I was just wondering if that has anything to do with what's it called? Vinegar syndrome? But I don't see their label on there.
no, I don't think so. No, on this one.
Okay.
But they would release something like this.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
But it's a decent enough horror film. It's not my favorite. One on here, I did take actually, I took a chance on several of these. And the last 2 items I took a bigger chance on, and they paid off more. But this one's still a pretty fun one. It's a classic. A lot of people swear by it. Okay. I'm sure Mo knows of this movie. I don't know if he'd ever watch this, but if he does, you know what I'm talking about, Mo.
Okay. Next one for me is a piece of my childhood that I've been meaning to come back to and just haven't gotten around to it. It's getting away from horror a little bit, but it's still got some of the basic concepts. Definitely the gothic and the macabre are very much a part of this. This one's also been sitting on the shelf forever, waiting for me to present it, and I finally got to it. And that's my copy of the old animated series Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah.
Which was good time. All 94 ghoulish episodes.
It's showtime.
Yes. And this was a Shout Studios release. I think I probably got it off of Amazon or maybe Walmart. I don't even remember where I got it. But like it's been sitting there for a while waiting to be presented. I enjoyed this when it was on the... I don't know if I saw it when it first aired or in early syndication, but definitely I watched this a lot when I was younger. In fact, I was not a fan of the movie, but I enjoyed this. And I have seen the movie a couple of times in the years since I've seen a single episode of this. So who knows what I'll think of it when I come back to it, but I'm sure I'll enjoy it.
He's more of a good guy in that particular series. And there's a part of me that feels like they pulled a little bit from that when they did the second movie, Beetlejuice. But
could be.
It's hard to say, but like I say, he was definitely... It was a weird series, though. It was a weird one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched that a lot as a kid. I also have that set.
Yeah, I see it right
when
there.
It first came out, it was like $75, but thank goodness it went down in price because I wouldn't have gotten it for $75.
It pretty quickly dropped to the $25 to $35 range. I think I probably picked it up when it dipped below that, but I don't know.
So this next one is a Rooster Teeth project. Rest in peace, Rooster Teeth. Thanks to HBO killing you off. But they did a horror movie called Bloodfest. And you, for a moment there, I confused it when I heard about it with Hellfest, which of course you know that one. You watched that in theaters, I believe.
I did.
This one has a similar vibe. It's about this group of like Halloween film nerds, like horror film nerds, that are going to a convention that's set up in this big forest. They made this into a giant haunt. Each haunt area representing a different genre of horror films. And then they decided to... Then the founders of this thing decided to make it into a bloodbath and kill all the people who came in. So they gotta survive. And it's got some of that Rooster Teeth humor in it, but it does still have enough horror, and it's very bloody. Very bloody. I think it's actually...
You would expect that with the title.
It's a very good film. It is enjoyable. For those of you who like kind of that more inward-facing horror comedy, I think that it is there. If you wanted basically Hellfest, but with a little bit more of a comedic bent, this actually works pretty well. It's still pretty good for horror sake and for, blood and gore sake, but not enough to where I would think you would have a difficulty with it. I think you'd be okay with this one. There might be a few parts, but it would be enough that you could cringe and move on.
All right. Next up is one that gets a little cringe for other reasons, but so there's a series that came out, and when it came out, it was hot shit. Everyone was all about this show, and to this day, I will maintain the first 2 seasons were pretty awesome, and it has one of the best opening sequences in American television. Set to a great song, Bad Things. And that is the series based on the series of novels by Charlene Harris, which is True Blood. I already had seasons 1 and 2. I recently got a good deal on season 3.
Yay!
Now, I don't believe I saw much, if anything, past season 3. I think season 3 was where essentially a cult forms in Bontemps, and that whole plot line did not do it for me the way some of the earlier plot lines did. I think, though, this might have also been the season, either 2 or 3, is the one that really established Deborah Ann Woll, who went on to star in Daredevil, in her particular role. I do like the beginning of this show. One of these days, I plan to watch the rest of it. I'll probably eventually swap out these sets for a complete series set. But I like these individual sets. Like, one thing I will give HBO is they make really good sets. They make good, solid, nice-looking sets. And it'll actually be... But it'll be such a nice space saver to get the complete collection instead. But like I said, I got such a good price on this. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get the next season. And maybe I'll even watch it. That'd be nice.
Was an offer you couldn't refuse.
Exactly.
My last one is a twofer. I just didn't want to do one of the films since I got both the first one and the second one. And that is The Barn and The Barn 2. Now, these were early on Kickstarter projects by a person who wanted to make an 80s style horror film. And that's how The Barn was born. And The Barn 2 is kind of a follow-up to that. And The Barn 3 is currently in production now. So, The Barn essentially is about this this barn, as you would expect, I guess, where they... where essentially, if you knock on the door, these people who look like Halloween mask-wearing monsters come out of hell, and they kill you and then take you back to hell for the devil to feed on you. And the first film is very 80s style, where you've got these people who are doing this, and half the neighborhood wants to end Halloween and all of that. And this guy, Halloween is like one of his favorite holidays. So they go on a last-ditch trip to see this guy perform musically. And when they go, they stop off in the town that has this barn. And then they knock on the door and, do the trick-or-treat thing. And that summons the creatures, which then they have to fight, and they go on that homicidal rampage and always. This one takes place after that one, 3 years after, and it follows up on the movie pretty well. It has Lloyd Kaufman in it, and again, more people. They decide to make a haunt out of the barn because that sounds like a good idea, and
it seemed like a good idea.
Inevitably, the creatures come back and they start killing again to get revenge after being beaten the first time. It's pretty. These are both pretty fun movies. The first one is infinitely better than the second one, but the second one is good fun. If you like a good 80s style horror film, slasher bloodfest type film, you would like this. You'd like these films. I think they are great to have for any collection. I'm very glad to have it in my collection.
Good deal. All right. I just had a thought as you were saying that, and I think I misspoke slightly, because I think what I was describing is more the second season. Because this one, you see right on the middle of the cover, you got Alexander. Is it Alexander Skarsgård or Bill Skarsgård? One of the Skarsgård dudes. Alexander, I believe. This one really got into the larger picture. That's what was happening in season 3. Yeah. But anyway, last one. Speaking of series that aired on HBO, they got a really nice looking complete series collection. This is a recent pickup that I've had of a show that I wanted to watch when it was on the air. The critics were raving about it. The showrunner was the guy who wrote American Beauty, and of course at the time I thought that was the greatest movie. And this is definitely getting away from the idea of horror, but it should absolutely fit some of the themes of Halloween. Because it's set, if I recall correctly, at a funeral parlor. And that is the show 6 Feet Under.
I like the little grass on the top.
Yeah, I know. It's got a little gravestone, a little bit of grass. And then, it looks kind of like a gravestone. And then you open it up and you got the cases in there.
That's a cool set.
This is a cool set. And when I had an opportunity to pick it up really cheap, I was like, I can't not grab this. It's not exactly a space saver, but it is a really cool set. And again, this is a show that a lot of stuff was made about it when it came out, and I think it won a bunch of awards. I have not seen a single episode. It's got this really cool in memoriam book that's in there. I love that. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not in perfect shape, which is not ideal. But I'm just now looking at this thing. This is interesting.
Preload.
Oh, it's got the cast here. Or these? No, these are the characters. Never mind. That's kind of cool. It's got character profiles in there, but it hasn't set up as. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. The I don't know. Very interesting way that this was set up. I remember Lauren Ambrose was in this, but I can't remember who else was in the cast. But whatever the case, like I said, it's one I always wanted to see and just never got to it. And when I saw this, I could not pass it up. Maybe now I'll finally get to it. Or it'll just be like The Sopranos, sitting on my shelf waiting and waiting and waiting. Or Game of Thrones, or, you know, all these shows. As much as I am pissed at the way HBO has been conducting their business lately, they have produced some really great shows over the years, and I certainly will not put overlook good opportunities to add them to the collection, you know? So if I don't have to pay for the damn streaming service, I don't mind having them on the shelf.
Well, that's it for this particular holiday. This isn't the end of Halloween videos, though, as we have another one coming out tomorrow. So hold that thought. Don't change that channel. Well, you can, but change it back tomorrow. And we'll see you on the next one as we talk about some alternatives to Harry Potter this season.
Trick or treat, everybody.
SeptumSin versus the world. It's that place for all the boys and girls. You'll feel real safe, you'll feel real warm. It's a cozy place to ride out the storm. SeptumSin. SeptumSin and his best boy Jake see the trends that scare us every day. Physical media is going to the side. Doctor streaming will rule the world.